Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mcubed Show about all things fantasy sci-fi. As always, I'm your host, Schmook. This week, I just wanted to do a solely Bad Batch review of the full two-part finale. All right, and it's sad because now we don't have any Star Wars content coming out weekly, but sometime in September, I believe September 11th or 12th, something like that, I believe we get Star Wars Visions, which is going to be that fully anime art style Star Wars show, which I look incredibly forward to. But yeah, this week we're just going to go strictly Bad Batch, but I'm going to make sure in the next video to go over anything I'd be missing in this week's episode. But again, I just wanted to do something special for Bad Batch because Bad Batch was awesome. And I just like to dedicate a full episode just to talking about Bad Batch. Okay, so as I said, we had the two-part finale, and now Bad Batch is over. So it was a pretty strong finale overall. Like with part one, that's where I felt we got the more action and deeper elements of the show as a whole. So the first part of the finale, we see the Bad Batch going to Kamino to save Hunter from Crosshair, right? We get to Kamino then, and with our Bad Batch that consists of Wrecker, Echo, Tech, and Omega, right? When they get to Kamino, Omega knows the secret passageway to get into the facility, and we see her birthplace. And same with the Bad Batch, because they're special clones, and of course that's probably where Boba Fett was made. They weren't made in the main cloning facility lab, where they make hundreds and thousands of regular clones, right? But this is a special one where we obviously got our Bad Batch, which all have different special abilities. Then Alpha and Omega, so Boba and Omega. But yeah, they were made there. It was pretty cool to add a little bit more lore to the whole oh, this is possibly where Boba Fett was made. But yeah, anyway, they finally meet up with Hunter, who's being held captive by Crosshair. They're finally able to rescue Hunter because they're able to have a nice little standoff with Crosshair, but there's an amazing dialogue in that whole sequence where you have Hunter just talking to Crosshair straightforward, being listen, we're not going to be joining the Empire. You need to come with us. It's all that inhibitor chip in your head. That's making you want to be with them. And then Crosshair's Hunter's it's not you. It's not you, Crosshair. And then Crosshair goes, well, that's where you're wrong. It is me. I got my chip taken out months ago, or a long time ago, right? That was a huge shock to me. It's even though he has it taken out, he's still completely loyal to the Empire. But you can tell in this episode where it's just Crosshair just feels completely betrayed by the Bad Batch. Like they were brothers, and he just feels like an outcast now. He feels like the bad guy to them, but he still loves them. You can tell in this whole two-part finale that Crosshair is just he misses his boys, and I don't know, I really dug the character of Crosshair in this finale. It's a really good character. But anyway, so there's definitely stormtroopers, early stormtroopers, and other clones, and the Empire finally is coming to Kamino. So there's an awesome sequence with the main general. I don't know his name, but he starts talking to Tarkin through the hologram. And then Tarkin just goes, "You may fire when ready." And just his classic line from any Star Wars content he's in, right? But anyway, so they shoot from their ships all onto Kamino, and they're basically just destroying the clone facility as a whole, which I think is crazy. It's just nuts to see the full end to this feels like the complete end of Clone Wars, because now the clones are done. That's how it feels. The cloning facility is just taken out. Which was sad to see, because I love clones. I think they're some of the best parts about Star Wars. That's why I love Clone Wars so much, because that's where you actually get a ton of personality from these clones. That's why I've been loving Bad Batch, because I'm really liking that team. It's just a team of clones. They're all special in their own way, but they're all different. And that's how I just feel about every clone. That's why I love Captain Rex. I love Commander Cody. I like a lot of those guys, Echo, Fives. But yeah, I mean, it was good. The first part episode I think was better than the second part episode, because now in the second part episode they're trying to escape Kamino, right? Crosshair's with them, and of course I'm missing out on this one character. It's this droid that knows Omega. I can't remember his name right now, but I really like that character. Seemed a little goofy, but he was a good character. He just cares about Omega and wants to help her escape and be free from Kamino. Anyway, so they go on to escape Kamino. It's a whole sequence of them just constantly running into different dead ends. They can't get off the planet, but again, they eventually get to a point where they're in these testing, or the testing tube things, or where clones were made in, just so they can breathe underwater, because again, Kamino is mostly it's an ocean planet basically, where it's always raining. But we see that like it's a good sequence where like Omega's in her thing, and her droid friend's just like trying to save her, like getting her out, but he can't handle being underwater, I guess, because he starts to power down, and then Omega's like, I have to save him. So Omega busts out of her tube and goes to save the droid, and then she starts to drown, like she's being underwater for too long. But then you kind of get a shot where it's like Crosshair, it looks like he's pointing a sniper at Hunter, looking like he might just betray the whole Bad Batch right there in that moment. But he actually shoots like a wire thing down into the ocean to save Omega. But yeah, then we get to the final part, like one of the final parts of this whole finale, where it's the whole Bad Batch. They're about to get onto their ship and they're talking with Crosshair, and Hunter's just like, just because we're not on the same side doesn't make us enemies. And I really like that. I like that quote. Like, even though they have different opinions on things, they don't have to be enemies. Like, they're still brothers. Like, I know Hunter wants nothing more than just to have Crosshair be back with him in the Bad Batch, but he wants to stick with the Empire. But of course, they're the Bad Batch. They're not a part of the rebellion. They're not a part of anything. But the Empire's after them because of Omega, which makes things complicated with them. But Hunter just wants there to be no bad blood whatsoever with Crosshair, which I like. Like, I can tell there's gonna be a lot of more character development with Crosshair in the next season, and Hunter, like their brotherly dynamic. And I can see, I'd say possibly in season 2 of Bad Batch, we'd have a scene where Hunter's probably about to get killed or something by like, I don't know, like Death Troopers or something, right? Which would be sick. But Crosshair just like starts shooting at them, and then he could sacrifice himself to save Hunter, and then he'd be like, listen, you're my brother. I wasn't gonna let the people I'm fighting for kill you. It was something, I would see something like that happen. That'd be nuts. I'm actually surprised we didn't get a main character death in this episode. I definitely could have seen Crosshair or Hunter dying. Wow, they have a whole season 2 that's being worked on now, so they probably want to hold off on that. Like, this whole season was just getting introduced to these characters with a good storyline, but I think it's going to go on to bigger and better things in season 2. Again, I was hoping to get some more cameos in this finale. I was hoping to possibly get Boba Fett or Darth Vader or even the Emperor. But we got Tarkin again, which was cool. But again, like, when there's just episodes in the middle of the series where like you see freaking Cad Bane, I don't know, just Cad Bane, many other type of old recognizable characters we've seen, like Captain Rex, like that was awesome. But it's okay. It wasn't necessary. But this finale, the absolute finale, was a little slow, but it did have like the better parts of Star Wars where like you don't constantly need action. It just needs to be like our characters are like in a dark spot, like they can't get out, they're trying to get out. It felt like an Empire Strikes Back sort of ending, where it wasn't that dark, like they were able to escape, they were able to do their thing, but like it's like, where do they go from here? But the absolute ending of this series, or this season, I mean, because there's still gonna be season 2, but you have the main research doctor from Kamino, right? I don't remember her name, but she's like the main doctor in charge of the cloning stuff. But the Empire now has her, and they're like, we could use your advanced skills or something like that. I don't remember exactly what the Empire officer said, but I do know it's definitely going towards like what we've been seeing a lot recently. Like Disney Star Wars has been going hard with the cloning process, specifically with ever since Rise of Skywalker. I've noticed this more because Rise of Skywalker has the whole thing that like Palpatine was a clone. He also made different clones of Snoke, and he was able to make a clone of Snoke that's able to have like Force abilities, right? Because we see in The Last Jedi, Snoke use Force lightning. But I think this all leads into how like the Empire after Return of the Jedi and The Mandalorian, how they're definitely getting, I think it's definitely clone researchers working with Grogu's blood. Because they want to be able to take his blood and not necessarily make another Grogu, but be able to use his blood, to use the midichlorians in his blood to put on the clones and make them Force sensitive, right? I think this could honestly possibly lead to us getting Starkiller at some point. Like that's my opinion. I don't think it's all just connected to the new trilogy of Star Wars, but I think it's to definitely get us to some show of something. And I think it could be Starkiller, where they're gonna just make a complete clone of someone and they have Force abilities, and they'd probably just call him Starkiller, which I think would be really cool to see. But I think that's gonna be it for today, guys. I mean, that was Bad Batch. Overall, I really liked the show. Big fan. Again, I'd still say I like Rebels and I like Clone Wars more so far from the animated side of things, but Bad Batch is super pleasantly surprised. Like Dave Filoni, he just gets Star Wars. Like he's the apprentice to George Lucas. But I look forward to seeing what he does next. Hoping Visions is good. We're getting Book of Boba Fett in December, so that's another Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni project that's live action, which should be epic. And I can definitely tell you there's going to be some Bad Batch ties in there. So I really look forward to that. But anyway, so that's all for me, guys. I hope you all have a good week, and I'll try to get another video out to you shortly. And next video will probably go back to the same format. I just wanted to make this video specifically Bad Batch to celebrate a great show, right? But yeah, next week, look out for a new episode. We're going to be talking about Rick and Morty, the newer episodes that came out. Probably going to do a throwback review, but I think I'm going to do a throwback review for Star Trek for sure. I'm pretty sure I'll do Star Trek, like the J.J. Abrams movie. And I may do a throwback review with some show. I'll probably find some fantasy or sci-fi show to start rewatching and then going over episode to episode with y'all each week. Since again, we're running out of like weekly content, I think at this point we only really have Rick and Morty. Unless y'all can think of something else that you want me to review, just leave it down in the comments below. Awesome, just like and subscribe, guys, and I hope to see y'all soon. All right, bye-bye.